Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Tuesday night, and every Tuesday night at this time I jump on and do a sketch challenge with you. So I think I say this a lot. I don't know why this is, but I really like this sketch. I think I say that every week. And what I like about it is it's a great way to use up scraps of designer series paper. I love designer series paper, and I always have lots of designer series paper, as we all probably do. And I end up with lots of scraps. So this is a great way to actually use your designer series paper. So I'm just checking to make sure that looks like I'm live. That's perfect. And Lynette's with me. That's great. So hopefully, Lynette, you can confirm you can hear me. I can see that I'm live. I think it's good because I can see the closed captioning on Facebook, which usually means that there's some sound there if I had it on. So, all right. So as I said, I like this sketch because I can use designer series paper, and I decided to pull out the Expressions in Ink designer series paper. It's been a while since I have used it because, you know, like everybody else, I jump to the newest. So I'm a bit like the squirrel, you know, squirrel new. So I haven't played with this for a while, and it's probably going to retire, which the retirement list comes out tomorrow and so I'm excited to see what's going to be in the new catalog. So as demonstrators, we get to see the new catalog tomorrow. So excited, but we also get to see what's retiring and what's, of course, carrying over. So always some sadness on the day that the retirement list comes out, but also some, exciting because we get to see the new catalog. So, all right. Hey, Holly, welcome. Hey, Alma, welcome to you too. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if that's where you're coming in from. That way you get notified. If you're coming in through Facebook, either my page or my group, I'm able to post notifications that I'm going to be going live. So I usually do that about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the day I'm going live for this Tuesday and Thursday nights when I'm live at 6:30 Pacific. But I can't do that on YouTube. So the way that you do that is to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you'll be notified. All right, let's switch over and get started making this card. All right, so this is my sketch. It will be posted on Facebook and Instagram at about 7:30 tonight, so you'll be able to get the measurements and play along. So it has a card base of either 5.5 by 8.5 or 4 1/4 by 11. Your choice. I'll kind of leave it up to you. I tend to go for the 4 1/4 by 11. I'm not sure why I'm into the tent-fold cards these days, but I seem to be. And then I've got a first layer that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. That's the yellowy color. I think it's called goldenrod, if I remember. Layer number 2, which is this blue, the biggest blue layer, is 2.5 by 5. And then layer 3, gray, is 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. Layer 4 is the blue behind the green piece, is 2 1/4 by 3.5. And then the green is 2 inches by 3 1/4. And then this piece for the sentiment, I've got a mat on it of 1 inch by 4 inches. And then the piece for the sentiment is 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4. Now, if your sentiment is bigger than this or wider than this, can't be too much bigger, but wider, just make this bigger. And then, so make it however big you need. And then the mat would be 1/4 of an inch bigger than that. That's really how I do this. So mine is going to say happy birthday. And so 3/4 of an inch was just fine. Okay. Like I said, this is great for using pieces of designer series paper. All right, so as I said, I've pulled out the artistically inked. So this is part from the Expressions in Ink. There are dies with this as well. I'm really just using this happy birthday sentiment, and then I think I'm going to use some of these little tiny flowers. And then for my supplies, I have pulled out Magenta Madness because that's one of the colors that's in the designer paper. This is also one of the colors that will be retiring. This is one of the in colors from 2 years ago it came out, hard to believe. And so this will be retiring come May 2nd or 3rd when the new catalog comes out. So if you love Magenta Madness and you don't have enough of the cardstock, or you don't have the re-inker for your ink pad, make sure you get that on your wish list. So I have scored it at 5.5. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. And as always, I'm folding into the mountain or into the raised score line. It's funny, last night on my Zoom class, I made a card. Now, it was an easel card, and of course, by the time I had cut it, I had the fold going. I had the fold going the wrong way, and it is quite amazing the difference that it makes when you don't fold into the mountain or into that score line. So, all right, got a good crease on that. Now I've got a piece of basic white, which is layer 2, and I have gone ahead and scored this using the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. Now I don't know that you can see that. Let's see if you can see can you see that? Anyway, it's just such a nice kind of subtle pattern. Yeah, I just really love it. Hopefully it's not retiring because I use it a lot. All right, so I'm just going to adhere this on. You can use whatever your favorite adhesive is these days. Mine seems to be the liquid glue. All right. Hold that down so it doesn't slip. It's forgiving, but it does, if you start to move your fingers too much, your paper will slip away. All right. Isn't that pretty with the Magenta Madness and the white? Oh, gosh. All right, so let's bring in our other pieces. So I'm using gold foil as my layer, and this is one. This is the, let's see, where's my, so the gold foil is layer number 2. So that was 2.5 by 5. And then this piece of the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper is 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then I've got no, not that, wrong one. This one. This is layer number 4, which is 2 1/4 by 3.5. And then this piece is 2 inches by 3 1/4. So those are my 2 different pieces of Designer Series paper. Hello. Not sure who's saying hello. Don't forget, if you're coming in on Facebook, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission so I can actually see who's commenting. All I see is hello and a Facebook user. So I don't know that you have to do that each time, but you might have to repeat it. But once you've done it, I think it's good for at least a couple of times. All right, so we'll adhere that Designer Series paper down. Now this piece is one of the ones that it looks like it's only single-sided DSP, but there is some of this paper that has quite a large section of it that is just basic white, because it's a big piece. It's beautiful. It's got green and stuff on it. Would be beautiful for a scrapbook layout. That's why it looks like it's single-sided. All right, so this piece will go on like this. Now I'm going to put these on. I'm going to adhere these flat. I probably will pop up my sentiment piece, but I'm going to adhere these pieces on flat. This paper is so pretty, and like I said, I tend to move on to the new stuff, and I shouldn't, because gosh, this is such pretty paper. One of my team, actually a couple of my team, this is their favorite, and they always use it when we're making cards, and I kind of think, oh, I have to pull out my Expressions in Ink. Isn't that pretty color? There's another piece of DSP I almost used that's a shaded spruce, but I kind of like the look of the old olive with the Magenta Madness. Okay, so this is my piece. This is 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4. And I've got my Magenta Madness ink pad. Let's get a couple of blocks. Not sure where my blocks are that are smaller. And I'm going to use the Happy Birthday. And then I think I'm going to use these little tiny flowers. just to give the, I'll see how much room I have on my birthday stamp or on my sentiment once I stamp my birthday. Let's see how straight this is. Always use your grid paper to see how straight you manage to get your label on. Hopefully it's pretty straight. Not bad. I always surprise myself. All right, so that's going to go on like that. So let's, I'm going to stamp off. Yeah, I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm just going to do, probably could have stamped off a couple of times, but that's okay. I'll do it like this. Just a little bit of decoration on it to fill in the space. Hi, Diana, welcome. All right, and let's use some dimensionals to pop this up. Now, when I've got a, this is a kind of a wide-ish piece of label, cardstock for my label. I stagger my dimensionals. So if you go straight across, you'll find that your sentiment piece kind of wobbles, and that always bothers me. So I tend to stagger my dimensionals so it doesn't kind of wiggle and wobble side to side. So this will go on like this. You know, I was never a real fan of the Magenta Madness, but gosh, it's pretty. I think because I've started to use the polished pink, maybe I've kind of converting over to pink. It's not typically a color I use, but I love polished pink. So, all right, again, I'm staggering my dimensionals because this piece is even wider. It's 1/4 of an inch wider than my sentiment piece. Almost seems a shame to cover up that really pretty pink flower with the gold, but I'm going to put this right across the middle like that, except that I didn't want to do that because I wanted to add, oh, that's okay. This is coming up. Got ahead of myself here. I have, this is the bow punch. This is in the current mini. And I thought what I'd do is just cut a couple of these, punch a couple of these pieces out. And I'm going to just use a glue dot and stick them behind. Yes, I love this DSP2, Diana. It's so pretty. Just because you can't have enough gold. At least I don't think you can have enough gold. All right, let's put this one behind. So we'll just kind of put that up like that. Probably needed to go up a little bit higher. Like that. And then I think I can manage to tuck the other one down in. So let's put this back on. There we go. And now we'll take this one and we will just hopefully stick it down. There we go. I could probably, let's see, where's my piece? Maybe I'll cut out one of these, another one of the little ones. There we go. I lost my glue dot. There we go. There we go. Ah, and then it got stuck. All right. Of course, this never happens to you guys where you kind of get ahead of yourself. There we go. There's some gold on it. And then the last thing I thought that I would put on here is these are the Gilded Gems. I love these. And we'll just use some of these and put some gold. Like I said, I love to add gold. I got some big ones. They come in 3 sizes in these packages. So we'll use one of each of them. There we go. There's a little one. Let's put the little one right there. All right. And then somewhere I have a piece of basic white that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And let's stamp some of these flowers in the corner like that, just so there's something on the inside of the card. And I'm not going to stamp anything in here. I'll write a note, but I like to stamp something so my inside is finished. I think my glue is just about run out. And that can go on the inside like that. All right, so there's the card. Let me bring in the sketch again. All right, so there's my sketch. Followed along pretty close. Sometimes I go rogue, but not tonight. Tonight I stayed pretty true to the sketch. Yeah, I love that paper. Gosh, I have to use it soon before it retires, and before the Magenta Madness retires. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. As I said at the beginning, the sketch will go live on my Facebook group page and on Instagram about 7:30 Pacific tonight. And I'll try and post it as an image on the video so that those of you that are coming in through YouTube will be able to at least see the picture of it. And if you aren't you don't follow my page or you aren't part of my group, the link to both of those are on, as well as my Instagram, is below this video, so you'll be able to go out and find it. Join the group if you'd like. I'd love to see the cards that you're creating. Everybody shares their cards in my group, and I just love it. And you never know, at the end of the month, I always send out a couple of goodies to people who've shared over the course of the month. You never know, you might be getting one of those if you join my group and share your projects. All right, thanks so much for joining me. I will be live again on Thursday night, and it is time for a technique night. So every other week I do a technique, and then on the alternate weeks, I do a bit of a mystery challenge. So hopefully you'll join me on Thursday night again. It is at 6:30 Pacific. Thanks everybody for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye.